telling us, and those are the pictures on your screens indicating the same from Mariupol. Fighting continues between the Russian and Ukrainian forces. Military operations continue in Mariupol, Donbas region, as footage filmed on Tuesday shows. Military personnel can be seen checking multi-story houses among signs of heavy fighting in the area. Russian military and Donbas militiamen have taken over half of the territory of the city of Mariupol, according to DPR authorities, as fighting with Ukrainian forces, including national battalions, continues. We have Taras Berzowets, who is a political analyst and CEO in Free Crimea, joining us live from Kyiv. Taras, I want to thank you for speaking to Republic. Firstly, a sense of what the situation is on the ground, and considering how Mariupol has been encircled, what is left of it?
Yes, hello. It's good to be on your show. We should say that Russian military command is committing multiple war crimes on Ukrainian soil. We see them bombing maternal hospitals. We see them bombing schools, kindergartens, and other civilian objects. As for Mariupol, the Mariupol now seems to be the most hottest spot now in the whole world, because Russian war criminals are killing our Ukrainian civilians in there. They already destroyed all bridges in the city of Mariupol, fast preventing Ukrainian civilians from escaping the city. The only one, to my knowledge, I now talked to some people on the ground in Mariupol today, and they say the only one bridge now survives Russian airstrikes. And people expecting that Russians can destroy it any moment. Still in Mariupol, there are about 250,000 civilians locked in the city, with Russian destroying houses, schools, and everything. Then they move towards the downtown of the city. Generally, here in Ukraine, Russians are losing the ground to Ukrainian armed forces everywhere. On the previous day, Ukrainian armed forces attacked Russian occupiers on the northern outskirts of our capital, Kyiv, and encircled a huge group of Russians near Irpin and Bucha. So Ukrainian armed forces effectively defending the country against the Russians. They shot down last night 2 more Russian airplanes, effectively bringing the total number of Russian airplanes shot to 101.
But that is, Russia is not seeming to back down in any which way. On the contrary, they're giving nuclear threats. And it's been 28 long days. The offensive is not de-escalating in any which way. Being a political analyst, what is your view of the way Ukraine is dealing with this entire situation, and what do you see from here on?
Ukraine is getting support now from NATO. Ukraine is getting support from our Western allies everywhere in Europe. It both includes economic sanctions, technological sanctions, fast downgrading Russian ability to build more armaments. Of course, we should take into consideration that Ukraine should be fighting for itself on its own, because NATO never said it will send any troops here on Ukrainian soil. And I think that Ukrainian armed forces have been very effective in deterring Russian military threat, defending our civilians. I would say that our armed forces was a surprise, not only to Russians, but to the whole world. Russia, before beginning of this war, said that the armed forces ranked 2 after U.S. Army. But now we see that how effectively Ukrainian territorial defense, Ukrainian armed forces, and Ukrainian citizens are defending our country from Russian occupants. We receiving every day more and more support. Armaments from NATO states. We received anti-aircraft missiles. We received light weapons, javelins, and laws and whatsoever. Putin cannot win in using his conventional weapons. The only chance for Putin to try to break the will of Ukrainian people to defend our country is to use tactical nuclear weapons. That's the only thing and the only choice which is left for him.
There are more to raise about the fact that the Ukrainians have shown a lot of gut and grit in this entire time, but fact still remains that there are innocents on the ground suffering, civilians, families, children, women who are being killed on an everyday basis, and really to understand where this is headed, because this, at the end of the day, will not prove well, not just for Ukraine, but for the entire world. Taras, I want to request you rather to stay on with us. We have been able to access more videos that we put out for our viewers of the situation on ground. After which I come back to you, request you to stay on with us.